video, we will talk about how to display blank lines, index columns, managing duplicate column names, replacing a value to a null value, and converting column to the dates. Right, so let's discuss one by one. First, how to display blank lines. So I'm going to my Anaconda Navigator and launching my Jupyter Lab. You can see it over here. So as usual, first import pandas as PD. Now, so just import your flat file first. Just providing your path of the file. Then just provide your file name. .txt. So here my delimiter is pipe delimiter. You can see here my delimiter is pipe. So I have to give pipe delimiter. Delimiter equal to pipe. And try to execute this first. See, if you can see star symbol here, that means it's running. Now, so what's the first point? How to display blank lines. So if you can see my data, I don't have any blank lines. Let's say I'm trying to placing my blank lines here by placing some blank lines over here and saving my data set. Now let's go back to the Jupyter Lab and try to execute this. So once you executed this one, it cannot show a blank lines. It can skip the blank lines. So if you want to see blank lines also, then we do have a function that is skip blank lines equal to false. So when I execute this one, see here, I can see my blank lines. In pandas, when I'm trying to execute one, if there are any null values, that is default a display with NaN, simply denoting that that's a null value. And if you don't want to display these values, so skip blank lines is true. Default it is true. You do not need to mention this one. But if you want to see blank lines, then you have to put it as false. Then only we can see all the blank lines. Right. So next, move on to the second point, how to index columns while importing. So how we are going to index the columns. So for that, we do have a function index underscore columns. So if you put it as 0, so 0 starts from column 1, this one, and this is going to be indexing as 1, quantity will go to 2, and percentage of the share will go to 3. Right. So if you put as 0, then it will take year column as indexing column. Index column. Okay. Now let's see. Try to execute it. I'm sorry. Index underscore column. Right. If you can see here, the year column will move on to the indexing ones. This is the indexed column now, and rest of the columns are not indexed column. So if you want to make one as indexing column, you can execute now, and will move on to the index column, and year will move on to a non-indexed column. Right. Likewise, 2. So if you give 2, then quantity will move on to the index column. Same will applicable to 3. If you want to move PCT as index column, just give 3. Right. So if you want to give 4 here, but we don't have any column here. If you can see, we don't have any column for 4. We have only 4 columns. Python default starts from 0 for indexing. 0, 1, 2, and 3. If you don't have, we don't have 4 here, then if you execute this one, that will throw an error saying that list index out of range. right? So we cannot give more than the required number. Also, you can give indexing from the backside also. If you give -1, that will take PCT, because from back it is taking the column as indexed column. If you give -2, it will come from backside in reverse order. If you give 3, then it will come reverse order as -3. And the final one is 4. While doing a reverse order, we don't have 0. So that's why it is 4 here. Now if you pass 5 here, that will move on to throw an error list index out of range. Right. This is how we can go into the index of columns. Now, the third one is how to manage duplicate column names. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to remove the blank lines here. Let's say, unfortunately, you have given 2 column names with the same name. See, for this, I'm giving quantity, and for this column also, I have given as quantity, right? So when I'm trying to save this one and execute, let's see what will happen. See, so when you have given it as same column name, automatically that will detect and make the column extension as quantity 1. If you can make this one as, make it also as quantity, for example. So when you try to execute this one, see here, quantity 1, 2. Of course, this can be handled by passing a function or parameter also, and the parameter is manage duplicate columns. So for this, manage duplicate columns equal to true. Let's say if you execute this one, sorry. Yeah, so we have to mention it as mangle underscore dupe underscore columns. If you put it as true, then it will automatically detect. Even if you don't put this one as true, pandas will detect it automatically. Likewise, right? And even that can be manageable with this parameter. And if you put it as false, right? If you put it as false, the false function is not yet to handled by pandas. So if you can execute this one, that throw an error saying that setting angle underscore dupe and columns false is not supported yet, right? So it can support default true. And even if you don't have this one, that will automatically detect and will rename the columns automatically by adding 1, 2. So I'm going to be revert this one. So we'll just remove unwanted records. Now, what's the fourth one? Converting column to dates. So let's say, for example, we do have year here. So let's say I'm trying to passing the year as a date, date column. So let's say, for example, here pass underscore dates equal to, you have to pass the column name first, as it doesn't know. So what's the exact column name? We want to convert from string to date value, sorry, date data type. So when you are trying to execute this one, so now it will take year 2007, and defaultly it will take 0101 as the month. So let's execute this one. See here, you can see here year as earlier 2007, but when you're trying to pass year as a date value and we are trying to convert it, it will take default month and date as 11. So let's see whether this was converted or not. To know that, if you'd like to see data types of each and every column, so then we'll come to know it was converted or not properly, right? You can execute core.sales, which is my data frame, and data types is a function. Okay, now just try to execute this one. You can see here converted to date data time. Quantity is object, quantity 1 is integer 64. Sorry, this has to be I haven't saved it. That's why it is showing that. Let's try to execute again and try to execute this one. Now maker is object, quantity is integer, is percentage floating because of decimal values. Now, so I'm not pausing this one. I'm trying to execute same set of sorry. I'm trying to execute same set of functions without date underscore parser. Now let's see here. Okay, dot dy d types. Now try to execute it. See here. Here is integer 64 earlier. Once you are converted to the date, once you converted column to the date, then it will display it as date time. See here. I'm trying to remove this one now. So this is the converted one. It is showing here as date time. Before converting, that is showing as integer 64. Right. This is how we are going to convert our columns to the dates, the string columns to the dates. So that's all I have, guys. Please practice from your end, and if you have any questions, please comment in this video. Thank you so much.